Coming up on Baseball Tonight, we relive some of the sights, sounds, and highlights of the LFG Cooperstown Extravaganza 2025 Week 2. It didn't start off very well for the boys, but here's the first hit of the tournament. A line drive single into right field by Dash Aiken. It would not be Dash's only hit of the tournament, but in this case, we can say it was the first. Here's the second hit for the tournament. Thomas leading off the top of the second, gone. His first home run of the tournament, out to deep left field. It's a solo shot. Unfortunately, it couldn't have been an 18 or a 19-run home run. They don't have those in baseball. But nevertheless, it was the first run scored by the boys. And this is everything right here. The party at home plate, the celebration, and that's how the first run was scored. Here's Cam Stern getting a hit, a hard shot down the third base line. Cam had a lot of big hits in this tournament, and that was his first. Here's a nice defensive play, this by Dawson, covering for his pitcher Thomas, who should have gone over to cover, but Dawson fields, uses his speed to beat the runner to the bag and get the out. There were a couple of other hits in this game that the team would ultimately lose. There's a nice single to right, the opposite way by Hudson Hill. And then following that, here's Aaron Alvarado with a solid drive into right center that goes all the way to the wall. Great base running by Hudson, who recognized it right away and made it to third. Game 1 in the books, and LFG falls to 0-1. We go to Game 2 at night against the Devils, and it starts off with a leadoff hit by Will Emerson, and I'll talk more about Will in just a minute. But he gets on, he gets over to third, and then with 2 out in Game 2, there goes Thomas again, this time to the opposite field, just over the wall in right center. Emerson scores ahead of him, and this is the first lead of this series for LFG. 2-0 off the bat of Thomas. His second home run, his second party at the plate, and it certainly gave the boys a lot of confidence, especially with Dash on the mound, who pitched really well in this ball game, as evidenced here, with a runner on third and 2 out in the bottom of the first. He gets the 2-hopper up the middle. Nice play by Cam Keeley to backhand it, get the runner at first, side retired, no damage done, and the score at that point stayed 2-0 after 1. Lafayette would increase the lead in the third. Runners at first and third. Gunner with a smash up the middle. Shortstop is unable to field it cleanly. Dawson comes in to score, and that made it 3-0. Gunner had a lot of clutch hits in this tournament. And there's a nice pitch by Dash, a fastball on the outside corner to get the man there, and it was 3-1 at that point, and it looked like that game was pretty well in hand. But the Devils were able to tie it, and then Hudson came in, and his first batter, he's able to get the ground ball, knock it down, and throw him out at first. That was a great play by Huddy. We go to the fourth inning, runner on first, nobody out. The runner goes, and there's a short pop-up into right field. Thomas is able to backpedal, make the catch, double the man off at first for a nice double play. That's one of 3 double plays that the LFG return in their 7 games, and a nice one by Thomas there. So 2 out, no one on in the fourth, and there's the third out of the inning. A great breaking pitch on the inside corner, which that batter wanted no part of, and a nice job by Huddy in the game against the Devils. But unfortunately, they lose 4-3 in a really close game. And here's a hit by Will Emerson to beat out a slow roller in the third. That kept a potential rally going, and then Will's going to come up again in the sixth, and he's going to drive a ball the opposite way into left for his third hit of the game. Will Emerson 3 for 3, being a great leadoff hitter, and right here being a great base runner, sees the throw, goes to the wrong base, and he moves up. And sure, home runs and strikeouts are fun, but when you do things like that, it proves your value equally. So 0-2, and we go to day 2, and Dash gets on the board there with his first home run of the tournament. So great to see from Dash, and it's his turn to get the celebration at the plate. I don't know if you noticed there, but Henry took a look down. He's going to quarterback the celebration, making sure everybody's in the right spot. Dash touches home. The party continues, and Henry gets the hardware, the most important bat of the tournament, because Dash would use it later to his advantage. But not a lot of highlights in this game against the Devils. Here's a nice play by Hudson Hill coming into pitch, getting the chopper to his right and throwing the man out at first. And then here's something terrific. Look at Ozzie take that inside pitch, create the space to throw down to third, to gun down the runner, the tag applied by Cam Stern. That was pretty, but the game itself wasn't pretty, and Lafayette falls to 0-3. We go to the night game, and there's Cam Keeley to his first batter at Camden Yards Field, Field 8. He induces the ground ball, and that's going to be a harbinger of things to come on what was a special night for Cam Keeley, who later in the inning gets the pop-up to Dash. The runner was running, easily caught off at first, double play number 2, inning over, and this felt like it was going to go Lafayette's way all night. And Henry keeps the momentum going, leading off the bottom of the first with that single there. He eventually gets to third and comes in to score on this base hit by Jack Stewart. And that gave Lafayette a lead that they did not relinquish against Bel Air from Texas. That was almost all that Cam Keeley needed. And when you get pitches like that called for strikes that are in the other batter's box, you know it's your night. And then you also know it's your night when you can line singles up the middle like Cam Keeley did there. So just a great night for Cam. He goes 1-2-3 in the top of the third, getting this strikeout on a nice play on a ball in the dirt by Huddy, who applies the tag. The next batter with the 3-hopper to Dash. Fields fires. That's out number 2. And then out number 3 comes in the form of this slow ground ball to third. Hudson Hill in on the grass. The running throw, accurate, in time, side retire. Lafayette would add to the lead in the third inning. There's that man again. Gunnar Lucas taking this one the opposite way. Nice play by the second baseman to rob Gunnar of a hit and possibly a second RBI. But Gunnar gets the job done. The run scores, and it's 4-1. Next up is Henry. And Henry takes this pitch through the hole into left for a base hit. Ozzie will come in to score, and that makes the score 5-1. Now here's one of my favorite plays of the whole tournament. Hudson Henry, who'd been hit by so many pitches and hit it to some bad luck, bluffs the bunt, pulls the bat back, pokes the ball into right for an RBI single. Cam Stern comes in to score, and that makes it 6-1. But the story of the night really was Cam Keeley, who at one point retired 8 Bel Air Texans in a row, including this play right here, a ball to the warning track, tracked down by that Gold Glove center fielder Will Emerson, and that is 8 in a row retired by Cam Keeley. But this is a great moment too. Cam hit a batter, and that prompted Coach John to come out to the mound to try to settle down his pitcher. And let's face it, if we all got mound visits from John Williams in our lives, we would be a lot happier. And it seemed to work for Cam here, who was pitching with a 6-run lead, but still the pressure of not having won in the tournament yet. And he gets the batter to swing at that pitch high and inside. You can't see it. But Henry's able to catch the foul pop And that would do it on a night where Cam Keeley goes 5 innings, gives up 2 runs, strikes out 4, and walks no one. This is the final play of the game with the bases loaded, the wild pitch. Gunnar comes in to score, and that'll do it on a mercy rule. LFG 12, Bel Air 2, and they're off the schneid with their first win of the tournament. Would the momentum continue into day 3? Well, not initially, because they fell behind 7-0 in this game. And until the top of the second inning, with Ozzie on first, Thomas deposits that ball into left field for home run number 3. RBIs 4 and 5 for him at that point. Ozzie will come in to score ahead of him, and it's 7-2. And this seemed to be an energizing moment because it was cold, it was rainy, it was early, and it was a deficit quickly. And the rally didn't stop there with runners on first and second. Dash is the batter, and he takes that one high and deep to center and gone. That's Dash's second home run of the tournament, and all of a sudden, it's 7-5. And you thought that maybe, just maybe, this was going to be the kind of game that the boys would be able to come back and win. And it's always tough in the rain, and it's always tough with home runs because it is somewhat of a rally killer. But the next at-batter is Aaron Alvarado. There's a line drive into right. How many times have we seen Aaron do that? Ball goes to the wall. Aaron gets a single. He gets down to second on a wild pitch, and Jack follows him with a opposite field hit of his own. Aaron does a nice job of base running in the conditions and the way the ball is hit to get to third. Jack eventually gets to second, but the rain starts to fall a little bit harder. For the first time, and maybe only time in a lot of these kids' lives, an honest to God rain delay stops play. And it seemed to kill the momentum at that point because the boys were really rolling. And now with second and third and 1 out, this was a play that was maybe emblematic of the whole week. Hudson Henry with a BB back up the middle, which the pitcher catches, and he's able to double off Jack at third, and that ends the inning. Just so unfortunate, especially when it seemed like they were coming back. That was a great strikeout by Dash there. There's a nice strikeout by Hudson Henry, but the outcome was pretty well decided by this point. And this is funny. This is the final out of the second inning. You see Jack cross over into foul ground into right field, and just look at him with the head down, finally saying, thank God that this inning is over. So we go to the nighttime, back to Camden Yards, and there's Thomas with an RBI, a 2 RBI double against the Dirt Dogs. After Dawson struck out the side in the first inning, the boys put up a crooked number, thanks to that double by Thomas, and then a infield single. I got it, no, you take it from Jack. And then Hudson Henry plunked again. Yeah, Hudson, I'm upset you got hit too, but at least it brings home Dash and makes the score 6-0, which, again, was more than enough for Dawson, who got into a little bit of a jam in the top of the second inning. This is bases loaded, nobody out, and he induces the weak ground ball back to himself. He gets the force at home for out number 1. And wouldn't it be amazing if on the very next pitch, Dawson was able to do that again? What do you know? Next pitch, he gets the out at home. Ozzie tries for the 1-2-3 double play, and maybe he could have got it, maybe runner interference, but nevertheless, the run does not count. The bases are still loaded, and then Dawson's able to get the fly ball to right. Thomas is right there to make the catch. No harm done. And the score remained 6-1 at that point. And that was just going to be emblematic of the kind of night it was for Dawson. More offense to come. There's Cam Stern with a base hit into right field. Ozzie scores there. Looks like it makes it 9-1 as Cam takes second base. And then we get more defense. This is Gunnar going to his left, cutting in front of the shortstop, Henry Skovic. That's a fun play for third baseman to make, and Gunnar made it like he's played the position his entire life. But more from Dawson. The hot shot one-hopper right back to him. Calmly fields and fires, and he gets the out there. And then a little bit later, Dawson flashes the leather again with the inside pitch. Soft line drive, thank you very much. Inning over. Dawson throws a complete game in this one as well. 4 innings, 5 strikeouts, and he continues what was just an outstanding year of pitching in 2025. There's his final strikeout, his 5th strikeout of the night, which also ends an inning. So congratulations, Dawson, on just an unbelievable pitching performance. Some more highlights in this one to show you. This is a nice fielding play by the boys. Henry goes right to second to try to get the force. His throw is a little bit high. Thomas is able to catch it, and then as he returns to earth, he lands right on second, just in front of the runner to get the force out. And then this is going to be the final play of the night. Remember, it's 1:07 a.m. at this point. We've reached the hour-and-a-half time limit. Midnight Madness is done. Ozzie touches the base, and it's a final. Lafayette 10 and the Dirt Dogs 3, and it's time to go into bracket play. 11 o'clock on Monday, and things could have been a lot later had they lost. But we go to a field where we hadn't played before, and this is the first real run-scoring chance for the guys, and it's Ozzie taking it deep on a ball that would have been a home run at any of the other fields where they played, but this one hits the chain link fence. Dash falls down as he tries to round third, which might have been a good thing, but let's face it, Ozzie robbed of a home run by the fence. Complexion changer number 1. Now this is what I call the scenic route inning. Fly ball to right, Thomas unable to catch it, but he's able to pick the ball up at the bottom of the fence, throw an absolute seed to Dash covering, to gun down the runner, single, out 9-6 for out number 1. After another out and another base runner who tries to steal, Ozzie's throw just a bit outside as it goes all the way to the fence. Camden gets it back into Dash, who turns and he throws an absolute seed to Ozzie, who tags out the runner for your run-of-the-mill 8-6-2, caught stealing, out on the base pass, whatever. But the boys needed runs, and here was the first, a ground out by Aaron Alvarado, plating Hudson Hill. That made the score 3-1 in a game where the boys fought back when faced with a deficit. So now there's a runner on third. Here's Gunnar. Hot shot back to the box, and watch this. Look at that slide by Hudson Henry. Getting his hand in under the tag. What a great hustle play. Running on contact. It's possibly my favorite play of the entire tournament. And most importantly, Gunnar safe at first with RBI number 2 is 3-2. And then now Henry gets robbed. Look at that. That thing hit the bar practically on the top of the chain link fence. Again, that's out of most parks except Yellowstone. But on field 12, it's just a single. And it's first and second for Will Emerson at the time. But the runners move over, and then here's Cam Stern doing what he does, doing Cam Stern things. Back through the middle for a base hit. Gunnar comes in to score, and the game is tied at 3 with Thomas coming up. Thomas gets intentionally walked. The inning then ends, and the boys never get any closer. But this is a nice play. The strike him out, throw him out, double play. Ozzie has become really good at making that play, gunning down runners at third, creating the space. Just a fantastic effort by him. The game gets out of hand, and again, the fight is not out of these guys. Hudson Hill with a base hit up the middle. Dash comes in to score. The game would be able to continue at that point because the lead is now less than 10. So a nice clutch hit by Hudson Hill there, and then Aaron Alvarado with another base hit, another RBI for him. 13-5 the score, and that's the way it ended. So I hope you enjoyed this look back at Cooperstown from LFG. It was an unbelievable week.
Team number 69. I love this name. Out of California, it's the Fighting Giants!